friends, Shawn Clement here, Richmond Hill Golf Learning Center. And for this topic today of push or pull, I've got a push broom and I've got the regular standard broom. And you'll notice that they each have a very specific way of being used properly. Now the push broom, obviously if I want a dust to go this way, I'm going to set myself up behind the push. So here is where I can use the ground and use my body to be able to push in that direction very effectively. It doesn't go very well where I have to hold the broom out in front of me here and try to push from the side. I really don't get as much leverage. However, if I were to use a regular broom, I've got a broom stick here that we use for broom ball. Those of you who play broom ball in the north, you know exactly what I mean, but it does the trick very nicely. Now if I want to take dust from this side and bring it over there, you'll notice how I'm leveraging in a very different way. So notice my top hand is actually going to be pushing rearward. My bottom hand is pushing forward. I'm taking the dust from over here and I'm pulling and dragging until it becomes a push. So I'm actually pulling back with the left, I'm starting the pull with the right, and then it becomes a release. I'm releasing the dust in that direction, okay? If I want to keep the dust down, well, it's always basically a pulling position. If I'm scraping, like scraping a floor or something like that, I want to get rid of the old paint, and I've got a good scraper in my hands, that's exactly the same motion that I'm doing right here. So it's a pulling action. So in golf, it's definitely a pulling action. So I'm taking the energy from the backswing here, and you'll see how my arms and my club are in a great position to pull the energy toward the target. And obviously, if you looked at a couple of videos ago on my how to initiate the downswing, well, the way it pulls, I've got my leverage from the right, moving into the left side with proper leverage from the right side, and now my left leg has the use of the ground. My left leg uses the ground to remove my body out of the way, and this sets up that kinetic chain from the legs, through the hips, through the core, through the shoulder, through the hands. This is a pulling action. I am pulling from the right side, right? This is a pulling action from the right. So if I'm in a tug of war, you'll see that my right arm is in a pulling position. So I'm pulling with the pec, the inside of the arm, the lat, all that right here through the ground, from the ground up, and I'm pulling in that direction. So everything is being pulled until the release. And now the energy, the G-force of the swing are pulling on me. So I'm pulling that club through that strike in the direction of the target. Now, if you're not behind the hit, at one point you have to stop pulling and you have to start pushing. So if I had a door frame here, you can try this at home, just set yourself up in a door frame. If I was driving a nail into the side of this door frame, I'd be pulling the hammer into this door frame. So you notice my hands past the door frame, and then the hammer is going to hammer through in this fashion. If the door frame's too far back, and I'm trying to drive straight into the door frame, at one point I have to start pushing, right? So I have to bring the club out in front of me. I have to reach back in order to hammer that nail. So this becomes very inefficient. And if the door frame is too far, yeah, I'm behind it, but at one point, in order for me to stamp that nail into the door frame, I have to start lunging and forcing my arms away from the body. This requires manipulation. If I want to use the weight of the instrument, this is where I would position myself. So if I'm a lumberjack with an axe, I got my axe in my hands, I'm going to heave the axe up, and you notice how my head doesn't move off of the tree, because if it moves off the tree, now I'm in a position where I have to lunge, and I'm out of position, I'm out of leverage. So my body loves this position. You notice how my right leg is secure to the ground, and it's in a great position to support the weight of my arm axe unit delivering the blow into the tree. Now, you can see how my hands are leading the axe in there. You can see how my head is still behind the tree. If my head were to move forward, now I have to use manipulation to do the blow into the tree. Otherwise, I'm following tree bark into the ground. Okay? So, heave, use the weight of the axe. So this is what you would call being behind the hit. This is in front of the hit where I have to reach back, and this is too far behind the hit where I have to lunge forward. Okay? So that'll really give you a good sense of how to use the instrument. So if you're solid with it, now we can properly pull through that compression and out to the target. So yes, the golf swing is a pulling action. It's not a pushing action. That clears that up. Enjoy that.